Hello and welcome to another video from TheSavageTrout on YouTube, and it is finally, I think so, it's every single time I go into one of these videos now, but it is finally my F1 2013 career mode, episode 15 I believe, entering the last 5 races of the season in this Ferrari car. Championship is obviously very close and everything at the moment. We're looking to try and get 4th place if possible. As you can see, we're 6th on the grid. Not the greatest qualifying in the world. As I said in my last career mode video, I'm actually hoping this race could be a chance for me to win. I obviously won the last race. It'll be nice if I can make it 2 in a row. But qualifying was a bit frantic. It started dry and I was pretty quick, kind of top 5 pace. And then it went to intermediates for the next 2 sessions, and my pace was still pretty good around there, pretty much top 5 pace through the whole sessions, for all the sessions really. And then it just, well, it kept raining, and basically I got held up on both of my first 2 flying lap runs, and I was only just under 2/10 off pole position in 3rd place, and I fell down to 6th, and it was quite a similar situation to Canada, but in the wet this time. There was 0.194 seconds separating the top 6, and I was 6th, so a bit frustrating on that front, but we do have one hell of a race ahead now. We all seem to be pretty close on pace. I'm pretty rusty on this game. The last time, as of this recording, it's almost been a week since I've been on this game, so it's not going to be easy. We're starting on prime tyres. Luckily we do have a dry setup on here as well, so we are going to be pushing like hell, but it looks like the Mercedes maybe have got some pace around here. They're 1 and 2 on the grid. Hamilton stole pole position by 12,000 seconds off Nico Rosberg. My teammates in 3rd, and then it's 2 Red Bulls and me. Raikkonen wasn't too far down either, and then there was about a second gap between Raikkonen in 7th to Button in 8th. So I reckon it's probably going to be us, the front 7 here. They also do have a tendency to go off at the first corner quite a bit around here, so don't be surprised if that happens. Apparently they think I can still win the driver's title, which is very surprising, but we are away. The lights were out very quickly then. Webber's got a fantastic start, and the 2 Mercedes are side by side. We've got Raikkonen going around the outside of us, and we've actually lost a place there. Raikkonen's got a brilliant start. Now we're trying to go around the outside of Sebastian Vettel. We've actually lost a place there. I don't think the start was going to be that great for us, but losing a position is probably even worse. Vettel gets a bit fishtailing out of there, and we got past him, and possibly, no, Button couldn't quite get past, but a very poor start for Vettel, even worse than me there. But great starts for Raikkonen and Webber, but now we're side by side with Raikkonen, and we've made the pass stick, and we've gained a place. I'm not quite sure who's leading out of the 2 Mercedes. You would think it would be Hamilton, but they did look pretty close going into turn 1. But bad news for Sebastian Vettel then, the championship leader of course, is down in 7th place as Webber breaks very early in there and doesn't leave as much room around the outside either. We're going to try and beat Mark Webber in this race at all costs, because he is our championship rival. As there's the yellow flags out, something's happened behind us. In fact, they're still out, so it must have been quite a hefty crash. Finally the greens are out, but it looks like it's going to be Mercedes versus Ferrari in this one potentially, because Red Bull just don't seem to quite have the pace around this track, which is bad for Vettel in a championship hunt. It's even weirder considering how good their pace usually is around this time in the year, and look how slow Webber was there compared to me through that section of the track. He's not left me much room, and we tried to go fully around the outside of him, and we got it done. Fantastic move. I'm not quite sure how I managed it, but look at the gap between me and Alonso, as it looks like Vettel's managed to get back up to 6th, so that's good for him. As it looks like the Mercedes are going side by side up ahead, and I think they may have taken each other out. Yes, there's a Mercedes off the track, and Hamilton's off the track, which is major for the championship. Look how many places he's dropped back to. And now, all of a sudden, the Mercedes look like they're wounded, and the Ferraris, me and Alonso, look like we're in a very good position here, especially me starting on the prime tyres. But yeah, it does seem to have, there seems to be a tendency around here for the AI to just go off at turn 1 for some reason, especially when they're side by side with another driver. It's very odd, to be honest. But it happened there, and the two Mercedes screwing each other over, and it must have been Hamilton who got hit by Rosberg, I'm guessing. So I do wonder if Rosberg has a penalty as well. He's hit me before in this season, so wouldn't surprise me. But all of a sudden it's looking like advantage Ferrari and advantage Alonso in the championship. So this has been a great start for us. Alonso started third, he's up to second, and he looks like he could be taking Rosberg's place very soon, unless there's shenanigans into turn 1 again, unless he actually challenges him down here. I don't think we're going to be able to challenge these two unless they take each other out there in the first, and I think we're going to have to maybe sit behind them and wait until our options. And as Alonso tries to go up the inside, tries to make a reminiscent pass of his pass around the outside of Schumacher in 2006, I believe it was, or 2005, I can't remember which year it was. As Webber's actually not too far behind us, so we're still getting hounded by the Red Bulls, and we can't quite catch up with the cars ahead, which isn't really surprising considering we're on the slower tyres and the pace was pretty equal in qualifying. Is Alonso going to make a move? No, he isn't. And there are no crashes into turn 1. We have set the fastest lap there. I didn't even realise, to be honest. I think when I pit, I'm going to look where Hamilton is in the positions, but that could be a major blow to his championship. I mean, he didn't have the greatest last race, and it looks like it could be continuing here. It was last out of all the championship runners, and it looks like he will be again. And look how much we've closed up through there on the front too, as well. We seem to be really flying here all of a sudden. It doesn't surprise me, to be honest. This is one of my better tracks on this game. I absolutely love driving around this track, much like Silverstone actually. But obviously I didn't have the greatest car around Silverstone, so I was hanging on to a podium. But I was a bit frustrated I didn't get pole position, but I think we could try and make it up here by getting the race win and the fastest lap. And try and get 2 in a row, as Alonso really seems to be pressuring Rosberg, who just seems to not quite have the pace of his teammate at least. Oh, we get a bit sideways out of there, but it seems like the two Red Bulls are maybe kind of tripping over each other. You wouldn't be surprised if Webber let Vettel through, as Alonso again having a look up the inside, but there's just no way through. Or maybe there is. He looked quite close to him there, but again he can't quite make it. Same behind me. I'm pretty much in a sandwich of two battles here in the middle of nowhere. We might just get DRS of Alonso here. The question is, how much will the extra lap affect me? I'm obviously going an extra lap because I'm on. Yeah, I know that, the race engineer. Prime tyres, is actually Webber's closed up quite a bit through there. We seem to be pretty weak out of the final corner again. Alonso hasn't gone for that bold and daring move up the inside. He seems to be biding his time quite a bit here, Alonso. Potentially maybe, I don't know, probably not going for an undercut, but he's probably just waiting for the pit stops, maybe try and jump him in the pits or something. But he's got to be careful, otherwise the more he gets stuck behind Rosberg, the more I'm closing in, and the more it favours me being on the option tyres at the end of this race. As we're only 5 tenths behind as we almost go into the... In fact, we have gone into the gravel there. We couldn't quite get it slowed down, and I wasn't quite expecting Webber to be that close. And now look at Vettel trying to go up the inside of both of us, and Vettel trying to go up the inside, but we've covered him off, and Vettel and Webber now side by side, and it looks like Vettel might have got it done, and that's even bigger for the championship. So essentially we've just allowed one of our, well, Alonso's championship rival through there by accident, but again Alonso's stuck right up behind Rosberg, so they really haven't been able to capitalise through my mistake. We've only lost about a second, and I'm pretty sure we can reel that back in unless Alonso gets through. Alonso really does need to get through here though. He's going to go up the inside here potentially. It looks like he could be up the inside. They're side by side. Was there any contact? No. There might have been actually, but again Alonso wasn't ballsy enough to make the move, and again we've closed up on the cars ahead. We've got to be wary of Vettel now, who seems to be pulling away from his teammate a bit here as well. Look at the gap, 1.1, so no one is getting away in this race. It's going to go right down to the wire, I have a feeling, unless we can make some early passes. And look how close Alonso is. Again, he can't quite make the move. Rosberg just holding him up like crazy, really. But very interesting to see Rosberg. Rosberg's only won one race this season. It was in Canada, and funnily enough, Alonso got spun by him, of course. So that makes it even more interesting here. I'm trying to think of the last time Alonso won a race. Actually, it's been quite a while since Alonso won as well, I believe. Unless he won in Singapore, which I don't think he did. He didn't win the last race. He didn't win in Monza because he finished behind me, and he definitely didn't win in Spa. Hungary possibly, I'm not quite sure about that though. Look how much it's closed up now. We almost have a train here, to be honest. A few more close action between Rosberg and Alonso. We might have even more of a train here, as again Alonso has a look up the inside and he's lost even more time. And look how close we are to the back of these two now. Maybe an overcut will work, but we're certainly going to be quicker in the second stint, and the gap at the moment, well, you would think we're just going to pass them easily on option tyres. And is Alonso going to go up the inside here? We're going to have to be wary that we don't hit into the back of one of them. Look at this, we're now side by side with Alonso. We're going to back off a bit though, which is really going to bunch it up again, I think. Yes, it is. So essentially the top five... Oh, Rosberg's got it all wrong out there as well. So now we could end up going 3 abreast here. Is Alonso going to make him move? Yes, he is. We could be going 3 abreast here. Alonso's going for the move this time. Alonso could be through. And look at... Rosberg's been absolutely crowded out. And it's a Ferrari 1-2 all of a sudden. And Rosberg's run even more wide. I think he's had a brake failure or something. It's gone from bad to worse for Mercedes. And all of a sudden... Oh, and we've run wide now. And now Vettel could be through up the inside. He's tried to go side by side with us. I was so busy commentating there that I ended up going off the track. And all of a sudden it's all changed. So Rosberg made that mistake. You could clearly see it coming out of the final corner. Just got a bit too... I don't really know what he did. He just seemed to run a bit wide out the corner or something. But then, of course, Rosberg just randomly ran wide. I don't know if he got a hit from behind. Also, Webber's now past Vettel again somehow. Still no Mercedes back there, so it looks like Hamilton well and truly is quite far down the field. But now, Alonso looks like he's in a commanding position here, because he's got quite a gap to me, actually, after we made that mistake. We were right up behind him until we ran wide there. I think we were just a bit overzealous after that mistake from Rosberg, maybe sensing blood for the early lead here, but instead now Alonso's got a bit of a healthy gap over us, 1.5. It was bunched up there for a bit, but it's now pretty close again. I'm pretty sure Alonso will be pitting on this lap, but one of the Red Bulls is going to have to go a lap longer, so that's going to make things very interesting. Alonso pits, and is it... No, Vettel pits, Webber stays out, and pretty much the rest of them pit. So me and Webber are the ones that are staying out here. Can we get an overcut on Alonso, or will we get undercut by Vettel? It'll be interesting to see if Vettel can undercut me and Webber. Grosjean also stays out, but it seems like the rest of them are pitting, so it'll be interesting to see if Alonso comes out in traffic as well, although you probably won't be able to see that on the map, so that's a bit sad. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be well, it looked like the Mercedes had the pace after qualifying, but the race has just completely gone down the toilet for them, and now it looks like it's a straight battle between Ferrari and Red Bull here. Grosjean's not too far off the pack either here. It really is anybody's race, especially if there's more contact into turn 1. We could see some surprise podiums here. But now we're just coming around here, and there is Webber. Just waiting for a pit stop here, and now really not much is happening. Coming round here. But Rosberg seems to be pulling off his real life antics by having a terrible race after obviously his DNF at... Yeah, I know, race engineer. DNF at Silverstone in real life. That was a very interesting race. It was quite funny because, as we're just going to come into the pits, it's quite funny because basically when I went to Snetterton to watch the British GT a couple of weeks ago, there was basically an hour red flag after about a 3-car crash, and they had to... I thought we lost a place there for a second after we got held up by Grosjean coming into the pits. Where is Alonso? Where is he? Where is he? He's got to be close, surely. Where is he? We still haven't seen Fernando Alonso, and there's Fernando Alonso, and it looks like we're going to take the lead here. It looks like... Look how perfectly that's worked for us. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I don't know if they got tangled up, but we've got the overcut on Alonso, and now we're on the fresher tyres. Surely we can just pull away for the victory here now in shades of career. And I mean, this works for everyone, really. Alonso's going to gain even more points on Vettel in the championship. And I also forgot to check where Hamilton was by accident, but I'm pretty sure he's not anywhere near the top 10. We just need to make sure we pull out of Alonso's DRS. But yeah, basically, back to the Silverstone thing. Basically, when I went to Snetton, there was an hour delay, and it basically was deja vu, especially considering they're both on, well, at the Snetton one, it was on lap 2 at the first corner, and obviously Silverstone was the first lap, about halfway through it. So, I mean, it was pretty ridiculous that there was almost ideal circumstances where I was having to wait an hour for a race. And Alonso's actually gained a bit of time on us, whilst we've been blabbering on about that. But you would think we're going to pull away here, since we've got 2 laps plus of fuel on Rich, and we're also on the better tyres. But anything can happen, I guess. Vettel looks like he's pressuring Webber as well. We'll have to hope that Vettel doesn't get past Webber. Although it would help me actually quite a bit. We were 40 points behind Webber before this race, as Alonso's closed in on us because of the DRS, so he's not going away. And Alonso, look how quick he's going at the moment. That's a second quicker than my old fastest lap. So Alonso really is pushing for the win here. He knows he needs it for the championship. In fact, I think if he wins it and Vettel stays in 4th, he would lead the championship for the first time in quite a while, I believe. So it'd be big for him to get through, but look how much we've pulled away through there. I wouldn't be surprised if we go purple here. Yes, we have. But yeah, we're 40 points behind Webber before this race. We're going to gain 10 points on him as it stands, so that's down to 30 points. I think we're going to completely jump Nico Rosberg in the standings if it stays how it is. I'm not quite sure how far he fell down, but Hamilton and Rosberg look well and truly out of this race, at least for any decent points. So there's a problem with 25% races sometimes. They might have been able to get back into it. It was a longer race. I am thinking of doing a 100% special race potentially, maybe the last race of the season if it's still so close in the championship, maybe doing a special there. Although I might just do highlights for that instead of the whole race. That'd be like an hour and a half live commentary, so that would be quite difficult to do. As we've run wide there, just we're on a purple lap, which is slightly frustrating. And Alonso's going to get back onto the back of us. We still might go fastest here, which would be pretty phenomenal. No, we're just 3 tenths off a bit. Again, Alonso looks like he was pushing at the end of the lap there. And again, he's got inside our DRS. So Alonso is on fire in this race. He's looked quick through the whole race, really, especially when he was pressuring Rosberg. If he'd got past Rosberg earlier on, then he might have been able to run away with it a bit and maybe be ahead of me at the moment. But that didn't happen in the end. It's shades of career here, where me and Alonso just seem to be taking the season by the scruff of the neck now. We seem to be pulling away from the opposition a bit. Ferrari seem to be doing the Red Bull thing, where we just hit some kind of form towards the end of the season, which is only going to be good for Alonso's championship push and only going to be good for me getting 4th. Although I do want to beat Alonso because we've had 4 races against each other so far since I joined Ferrari, and I've won 3 of them. And he's outraced me 9 times to 5, I believe. So if we can make it 6 to 9, then the odds start looking a bit better for me in terms of keeping this drive for next season. 'Cause I don't quite know how they're going to weigh it up, but obviously because we started with Sauber, Alonso is pretty much beating me in every single teammate challenge thing possible. So as we go purple again there, but again Alonso isn't too far behind us. He's really keeping the pressure on us here, and we have to be careful that we don't make a mistake when the tyres go off. He did press. It's very similar to Carrera here, apart from the fact that he's pressuring us early on instead of towards the end. As still Webber is holding Vettel up as we go fastest there by. I don't think it was by much actually. Alonso's time was a 36.4, and I believe we've just beaten it by very little. It'll be interesting to see if he doesn't go quicker how close it was. It looks like Vettel and Webber went side by side there, and I think Webber might have gone off the track just in the corner of my eye. I looked on the mini-map and Vettel is through, and more shenanigans with teammates. The only team that seems to have not had shenanigans with teammates into the first corner are me and Alonso. We seem to be riding away coolly and calmly here, and it looks like Webber, and that's going to help me immensely in the championship as well. If he's fell out the points, then all of a sudden we could be only 15 points behind him if it stays how it is, as our tyres are actually going off quite a bit now actually, which isn't too surprising considering we pitted on lap 7. I mean, 6 laps on these tyres is quite a push. Looks like Webber's down to 6, I think it was, so I believe both of the, well, at least one of the Lotuses is probably for him, probably a McLaren as well, possibly a Sauber of Nico Hulkenberg in there. As Alonso will just not go away here. I don't think the gap's gone up to over 2 seconds and has mainly been around the 1.5 region. He just will not go away. 1.6 this time it is. We have to make sure we don't get reeled back into a DRS. I think we should be okay as long as we don't make a mistake, but I am a bit rusty on this game, so anything could happen. We have to be careful on these last 2 laps to just bring it home and take it pretty nicely, as Button is actually up to 4th, which is quite a surprise. Shades of Silverstone in real life again. Surprised there hasn't been bitching between Alonso and Vettel as well, as we get a bit shake out there. That was a bit worrying for a second. Yeah, it has been a topsy-turvy race. It looked like Vettel was going to be out of it after his poor start, and then I didn't get a great start either, and then the Mercedes tangling, and then Rosberg making that mistake allowing me and Alonso through, then Rosberg going off, completely destroying his race. Something seems to be wrong with Rosberg's car maybe. I mean, he was not going quick at all, and then he had that massive off at turn 1, so who the hell knows what happened there. But for once the Ferraris have actually held out and not had any mechanical problems, which is quite a surprise looking at Alonso's season. Well, still Alonso's pressuring me. It's ridiculous. I mean, we do seem to have hit a good patch here where we just seem to be the quickest car in the field, and if it was a 100% race or a 50% race, I think we would have won this by quite a bit actually. But somehow the overcut worked for us. I'm not quite sure how, but it did. I mean, look at the gap we have over Vettel. The fuel's worked perfectly for us. We've now just hit optimal. But again, look how close Alonso is. He might actually be inside DRS here. It's ridiculous. His pace on these prime tyres has been absolutely fantastic. If he started on primes, he might have given me a real run for the money here. As we're on to our final lap, and it's very reminiscent of career here, with Alonso pressuring me right till the very end as I come round on worn tyres. And once again, we're going to gain points on our championship rivals. And funny enough, Vettel's in 3rd again. Vettel just seems to have this knack of getting consistent finishes. As, oh god, I thought we were going to get spun by the curb there. And look how red our tyres are as we actually go on the grass a bit there. We're going to have to be careful here. It really is shades of career. We can't afford to go off. And look how much we're struggling now. And all of a sudden, Alonso again. It seems to be the constant problem. This is the 3rd race out of 4 that he's been challenging me right to the very death of the race. And the previous 2 it's been for the win. And look how close it is now. We're going to have to be careful here. He doesn't pass us down the straight. We've actually saved all of our curves now. But look how screwed our tyres are. And maybe the option tyres aren't quite the tyres to be on around here. We were really keeping up with the pace on the primes. And now Alonso seems to be just better on the tyres here than us again. We're using all of our curves here, and I don't think Alonso is going to trouble us unless he goes for a banzai move into 130R. But it's 6/10, but it's not going to be enough by the looks of it. We're coming round to the final chicane. And no, it's not AOR. We're not having any crazy last minute moments of madness into chicanes. As we come across the line, it's another 1-2 for Ferrari. The perfect race result. It's 2-2 for yours truly, and our rival is down in 6th place. There's even more fantastic news. I'm guessing we've jumped Rosberg in the standings. Well, Rosberg got up to 8th then. Thank you, Race Engineer. 0. Oh, look how close it was for the fastest lap as well. 30 thousandths quicker. Where Hamilton ends up down in 15th place. That's horrific for him, really. But that's really going to make the championship interesting. But fantastic race for us. And now let's look at the championship standings. And look how far. I know, I just said 2 in a row racing, didn't I? And so yeah, in fact, we would have jumped, or we would have been level on points with Rosberg if he'd finished 10th, and we would have been above him. Or no, sorry, if he hadn't finished in the points. So, what's the maths there? That's 23 points, I want to say, behind Webber. Yep, 23 points. So 6 points separating Alonso and Vettel now for the lead of the championship. Vettel hangs on to the championship lead, and Hamilton 25 points behind now, a race win behind the championship lead, Sebastian Vettel. After that race, he's going to need something special in the next couple of races to get back into it. And now, for the first time in quite a while, Scuderia Ferrari lead the championship, or lead the Constructors' Championship, 399 points, 13 points ahead of Red Bull. I think Mercedes are well and truly out of it unless they have something special here. So it looks like, as per usual, it seems it's between Red Bull and Ferrari for the glory here. So thank you for watching. It's been a fantastic race again. So until next time, goodbye.